Let's take a nice comfortable seat on our mat. Settling in. So just taking a moment to arrive right here. So it might be a good idea, one of the things that I don't talk about very often is when I say take a comfortable seat on the mat, I just plop right down, but that's not always the most comfortable thing. Something that I like to do is get my hips a little bit higher than my knees. One way to do that is to sit on a pillow or on books or a block or a bolster. So I'm going to take a block and I'm going to sit that underneath. And so that tilts my pelvis forward just a little bit and it makes my knees lower than my hips. So now ground down. Lengthen up through the top of your head. Bring your shoulders up into your ears. Relax your shoulder blades down your back. Close your eyes. Soften. Scan your body for anywhere you're holding, clenching, or tightening. Make your way to your breath. In through your nose, out through your nose. So we'll let our awareness rest on our breath. But you're invited to check in with the thoughts that are swirling around in your mind. Just notice. No need to get attached. Just be present. Feel your way in. What's there? Acknowledge the thought and let it go. We don't have to put it in our pockets and hold on to it and carry it like a weight. We can just acknowledge it and let it be. We are not our thoughts. Connecting with your breath, a strong ujjayi, in through your nose, out through your nose. Drop your chin towards your chest. Lift your chin back up to neutral. And then lift your chin towards the ceiling as you look. Your eyes can be closed or open, but looking up. Maybe you'll feel a stretch along the front of your neck. Bring your head back to neutral. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Now, your right hand can come to your left ear if that feels right to you. With each breath, you're invited to be in your body. Releasing your head, coming back to neutral. Drop your left ear to your left shoulder, and you can bring your left hand to your right ear if that feels right in your body. Connecting to your breath, in through your nose, out through your nose. And then when you're ready, release your head back to neutral. We're going to come into tabletop position on our mat. If you've got a block or a bolster or books on the mat underneath you, we're just going to gently move them out of the way, bringing our wrists underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips. And we're going to start actually tucking our toes underneath. So a slight little stretch to the bottoms of our feet as well. Now, drop your belly, lift your heart, pulling your chest through your arms as you look up. And then on your exhalation, pull your belly button towards the ceiling, round your head and neck, coming into cat. Now just move with your breath. Opening to cow on your inhale. Moving to cat tuck on your exhale. Coming back to tabletop position. Untuck your toes. We're going to bring our hands a little bit more forward of our shoulders, and we're going to make circles with our hips. So these circles can be as big as you'd like or as small as you'd like. Linger wherever you'd like to linger. This is a posture that I've heard very lovingly called drunken bear. You can kind of imagine a bear up against a tree, scratching its back. And then we're just kind of doing that on our hands and knees. And then moving the opposite direction. Again, lingering wherever you need to linger. And coming back to tabletop position. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Coming high onto your toes, lift your hips, press your heels back and down. Wiggle around. Pedal one feet and then the other. One foot and then the other. Reach back with your right hand towards your left shin or ankle, looking underneath your left shoulder. Replacing your right hand, come back to equanimity in your downward facing dog as you reach back with your left hand for your right shin or ankle. Looking underneath your right shoulder. Coming back to downward facing dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet as you come into a standing forward fold. Deep bend in your knees, relax everything forward. Bring your hands to your shins, lengthen forward. Long spine, flat back, look forward. Fold Uttanasana. Bring your hands to your shins, press and lengthen. So even here, as we're lengthening out, can you kind of hollow out your belly? So hug your belly in towards your spine to find length through the top of your head. Fold Uttanasana. Walk your hands back out to plank. Core is engaged, belly lifted. Press out through your heels. Again, we're hugging in towards the midline. We're engaging all of the muscles of the core. You can always bring your knees down if you need to. Connecting with your breath. In through your nose, out through your nose, hug in.
Walk your hands back, coming back to standing forward fold. Deep bend in the knees, take hold of your elbows, hang or rock from side to side. Release your hands down outside of your feet. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms sweep up. Reach up, swan dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Walk your hands out nice and slow. Bear crawl forward, coming into plank position. Can you lower down and hover? Press up. Walk your hands back, coming back into standing forward fold. Bring your hands to your shins, press and lengthen. Fold. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms lift up, reach up, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Walk your hands forward, coming into plank, hold your plank, hug in. Can you lower down and hover? Press up. Let's try that again. Lower down and hover. Press up. Walk your hands back. Fold forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms lift up, reach up, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Fold, walk your hands forward. Bear crawl forward. Hug in, plank. Hug in towards your midline. Can you lower down and hover? Press up. Lower down and hover. Press up. Lower down and hover. Press up. Do we have one more? I think we do. Lower down and hover. Press up. Walk your hands back. Fold forward. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms lift up, reach up. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Fold, walk your hands out, coming back into plank. Coming down onto our forearms. Hug in. Whenever I get sad about planks and forearm balances, I think about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and I think about how she did a plank every day for like a minute. Press back up. And then press to downward facing dog. Coming high up on your toes, lift your hips. Press your heels back and down. Float your right leg up towards the ceiling. Reach out through your heel. How can you expand? Take up space. Draw your knee in, step through. High runner's lunge. We're going to stay up on the toes of the back foot. Front knee over the top of the ankle, arms sweep high. We do this practice to connect with our breath, our being, ourselves. Expand into who you are and where you are in this moment. Hands come down on either side of your front foot. Step back to plank. Right wrist underneath your right shoulder, coming into side plank on the right side. Left arm lifts up. Now you can bring your right foot down for a kickstand. You could lift your left leg up for added heat. Breathe. Pin the foot down, bring the hand down, come back to plank, lower down, chaturanga, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left leg lifts up, reach high. Take up space, get bigger, expand, shine bright. Draw your knee in, step through, high lunge. We're staying up on the toes of the back foot. Check in, front knee over top of the ankle. Root down, root through your feet. Lift up, grow, get bigger. Don't shrink. Expand, fill up. Hands come down on either side of your front foot. Step back to plank. Left wrist underneath your left shoulder, side plank on this side. You can bring your left foot down for a kickstand. You can float that right foot up. Breathe your way in. Top arm comes down, come back to plank. Center in, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Let your low back relax and release. So I know lighting in here is a little bit bad, but what I'm doing is I'm engaging my legs so that my knees are lifted up off the mat. Your knees can be down or up. Now, as we're in this upward facing dog, try to lift out of your shoulders. Open your heart, draw it through, lift up. Gaze to the right over your shoulder. Gaze forward, gaze to the left. Gaze forward, drop your knees down, press your hips to your heels, come back to child's pose. Bring your forehead down on the mat. Big deep breath in. Let it out. Another big deep breath in. Let it out. Even here, even in a child's pose, can you take up more space? Breathe deeper, connect more fully to yourself. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Look forward between your hands, walk or hop to the top of the mat. Lengthen through, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair sit back deep. Fold Uttanasana. Inhale to lengthen and fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Take it back, down, diggity dog. Woo. Breathe your way in. Float your left leg up towards the ceiling. Draw your knee and step through Virabhadrasana 1. Lift up. Hands come down, step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Upward facing, downward facing. Right leg floats up, reach high. Draw your knee in, step through Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. Lift up. Hands come down, step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward. Exhale, downward. 5 deep breaths, down dog or child's pose. Your choice, your practice. Listen to your body. It's all that matters. Look forward, step or hop to the top of the mat. Lengthen through, fold. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair. Straighten your legs, arms lift up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, chair, sit back deep. Fold. Inhale, halfway. Fold, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Upward. Downward. Right leg lifts up, reach high. Draw your knee in, step through Virabhadrasana 1 on this side. Lift up. Now it'll feel so good. Open up Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Gaze over the nail of your front finger, front knee over top of your ankle. You should be able to see the big toe on the inside of your right knee. Relax those shoulder blades down. Our shoulders want to live in our ears. They keep creeping up. Draw them back and down. Relax in. Palm of the right hand face up. Exalt your warrior. Reach back. Windmill your hands to the top of the mat. Step back to plank, chaturanga, or meet in down dog. Your practice, your choice. Left leg lifts up, reach high. Woo! I am sore and tight. Maybe you are too. Draw your knee in, step through Virabhadrasana 1. Yes, yoga teachers get sore too. Press down through your feet, lift up. Open up, Virabhadrasana 2. Woo! Breathe your way in. You can sing to yourself. You can connect to your breath. Do what feels right in your body. Wiggle around. It doesn't have to be static. Listen to your body. Get curious. Palm of the left hand face up. Exalt your warrior. Reach back. Windmill your hands to the top of the mat. Step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Upward facing. Downward facing. Drop your knees down. All right, we're gonna come into a kneeling position. We're gonna do a heart opening posture. We are coming into camel. Okay, I'm tucking the toes in my back foot. I'm trying to give an opening to the back of my feet. Your feet can be toes down or toes tucked. What is your body asking for? Okay, hug in towards your midline. Even here, you know how engaged we are in plank? Find that same thing right here. It's gonna help protect your back. Now, you can start with your hands on the small of your back, draw your elbows in, lift through the top of your head, open your chest and your heart as you gently lean back, or if you like, you can take your hands back to your heels. opening your chest and your heart here. Coming back to kneeling. Relax your feet, sit back, let your weight come to one side, take your legs forward and around. All right, center yourself in the middle of your mat. If I don't do that, I'll run into the door, and none of us want that. All right, lift, or maybe you do want to see me run into the door, I'm not sure. Lengthening up through the top of your head. Lift your shins up so that your shins are parallel to the ground. And then your hands can stay behind your thighs, or you can hug in, core is engaged, belly lifted, reach those arms out, lift up. Whew, you got this, breathe. All right, bring your feet down, reach your hands out, slowly coming back down onto your back. Slowly, slowly, slowly draw your knees in, lift your head, lift your tailbone, turn into a little ball. Exhale your head down, rock out your sacrum. Sometimes when I teach, I just wish we did this for 35 minutes. This would feel so good, relaxing the sacrum. Massaging those upper glutes. All right. But more core work ahead, shins parallel to the mat, feet flexed, hands back behind your head. Lift your shoulder blades up off the mat. So core is engaged here. And we are doing our yoga bicycles, right leg out, right elbow towards your left knee, and switch. Going as fast as you'd like or as slow as you'd like. So you can't get upset with me for this core, because guess what? You are in control of what you're doing here. You get to decide how easy or how hard it is, but keep in mind that strong bodies make strong minds, and we are strengthening the core of our beings. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1 more, 1. Good work. Draw your knees in, lift your head, lift your tailbone, turn into a little ball. Exhale your head back down, rock it all out. Whew. Rock it out. Good work, yogis. Bring your feet down on the mat. Find the edges of the mat with your feet. Center yourself in the middle. Open your arms out wide like a T. Let your knees fall to the right as your head gently turns left. Let go of everything. When you scan your body, you know where you're holding. And maybe you can't let it go. Maybe it just doesn't feel safe yet to unclench, to ungrip. And that's okay. But acknowledging where it's tight, acknowledging what you're gripping onto so tightly is important. It's that first step. Wherever you are is exactly where you need to be. And Liz so beautifully shared a quote that wherever you are needs you. What here needs your attention? Lifting your knees up to center, let them fall over to the other side as you gently turn your head to the right. Lifting your knees up to center, relaxing your legs out in front of you. Let your feet fall open, arms come down at your sides. If you're feeling open, let your palms be open to receive. If you're feeling closed, you might even want to try bringing one hand to your belly and one hand to your heart. However you can most easily relax. Soften and let go. Letting go of even your breath, any holding, any tightening. Today's reflections from the mat begin with a quote from the Indigo Girls. Well, darkness has a hunger that's insatiable, and a lightness has a call that's hard to hear. I read recently that a new war crime has been added to the list of crimes the United Nations is prosecuting. I spent some time digesting this information, willing myself to envision its victims and to imagine its perpetrators as my brothers and sisters. I tried to feel for a moment the suffering of human beings lost in the living hell that is war. My work with children and families in the relatively quiet towns and cities of the United States has given me a sense of the universality of that suffering. There is no end to it, and we minimize this truth or believe that we are somehow disconnected from it at our own peril. Not long ago, a friend of mine went to a gas station to call for help with her drug problem. She couldn't use the phone in her apartment because she had already sold it for drugs. A few months later, after cleaning up her act a little, she went back to using drugs, only to experience far greater consequences this time. Who among us has not either fallen into a downward spiral or been afraid of following in my friend's footsteps? Who has not known the insatiable hunger of darkness? Lightness has a call that's hard to hear, but each time we choose to hear it, the call becomes a little clearer. We spend our days badgered by voices that tell us to judge others, fear others, harm others, or harm ourselves. But we are not obligated to listen to those voices or even to take responsibility for them. They may be where we come from, but they are not where we are going. There is another voice, a voice that shines. Ahimsa is the practice of listening to that voice of lightness, cultivating that voice, trusting that voice, acting upon that voice. And for those of you who are wondering what ahimsa means, it means non-harming.
When you're ready, bring small movements to your toes and to your fingers, maybe moving your head from side to side. And then gently and carefully bending your knees, bringing your feet to the mat. Rolling to the right side, pausing there for just a moment. And slowly push yourself up to a nice, comfortable, seated position, eyes closed, hands at heart center. We're going to close today's practice with 3 loud ohms, remembering that an ohm is like an ah-oh-um sound. An ohm is said to be the vibration of the universe, the vibration of all things everywhere. And when we connect to that vibration, we are connecting to everything and everyone. So this first ohm will be a little quieter. This first ohm is for your own well-being. The second ohm is the well-being of our community. And the third ohm will be for the well-being of our nation and our world. So connecting your thumbs to your heart center, taking a big deep breath in. Sitting with that vibration for just a moment. Yoga will teach us so much about ourselves. It will help us become flexible in mind, in body, and in spirit. For that, I am truly grateful. Thank you so much for coming to class today. Namaste. Good work, yogis. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you.